Okay, YouTube, we are back for another week. I'm trying to do like one to two videos a week, and it's always good to check in on what the market's doing. Everyone likes to do the market update videos. I like to stick to the $1,000 and up. So let's just get like right into it. This is going to be the second week that we're doing this, and I tried to like expand it a little bit onto the things that I'm more interested in, while also cutting back on some of the items that, well, I'm really just not interested in. So on this time we only have one metal card, just as a comparison. Again, not super interested in the metal cards, but what I am super interested in is Vendetta. I think I'm a little late. I should have made this prediction earlier, because now it's just like absolutely super obvious. Vendetta is definitely the second best set, right behind Origins. And I think if you're crazy, you can try and say it's better than Origins, but I still think that Origins is better than Vendetta. But long run, I think our lineup is really going to be Origins, then Vendetta, then Spirit Forged, and then of course Unleashed at the end. So we're finally starting to get some of these PSA 10 signatures on auction for, of course, our best cards in Vendetta. We talked a lot about Akali last week, and right now there's one guy out for auction. He's at $6,100 already. And then there are a lot of other listings for like tag 10s, and then I think one other PSA 10, but they're at like $20,000 to $30,000, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think this guy's gonna fall like into the 12 range now. I think 12 to I want to say 10 to 15 to be conservative, but I think this guy's gonna fall right around 12 for his first sale. It's 11 to 12. That's final guess. And yeah, we're already seeing that this guy's, gemming super well, even with a lot of the condition issues that we talked about last video. For anybody who didn't watch the last one, a lot of the Vendetta cards, they have these like white dots at this part of the corner and then one up here. We're also going to look at, I think the Zed's the next one. This guy was actually like clean on his condition, but a lot of the Zed cards are also, coming out with the same issues, and you can see the pop is still, pretty perfect. And this guy's are at around 4K with about 4 days left. I think the Zed card is still a little bit sleeper right now. It's starting to move up in its raw price as people are, well, starting to realize just how cool it is and just how few of these there are on the market. I think this guy's going to end right around like the 8K mark. That's my guess for the Zed. I absolutely love this artwork, as does everyone else. I'm still trying to find a raw copy. The one raw copy that I did end up buying on eBay ended up having a couple print lines on it, so I will not be submitting that one. Super unfortunate. But yeah. All right, let's go. So yeah, we talked about the Akali. No sales yet for him. No sales for the Zed yet. But we do have some sales from the other not as popular cards. So the raw version of Kennen's going for about $1,000. So we're still seeing that like 3x multiple. And this is kind of why I think the Zed is super underrated. Right now we are seeing way less than a 3x multiple, because obviously I don't think the Zed's going to end for this. There's still a lot of time in this auction. I know sometimes auctions can be funny, but I think the upward pressure on Zed right now is really high. We're going to look at some of his raw cards, but just if you want to click off now, raw cards are starting to sell for like $1,800, and then the listings on TCG Player are really starting to get bought out. But yeah, Kennen here, and then Shen. I mean, everyone's kind of like memeing the armpit Shen, but you just gotta put your money where your mouth is. We saw the Mbessa sale last week, super low. I mean, this is kind of what we expect for the Shen. It's just not really desirable, and that is what is really driving the Riftbound market right now. It's like people buying cards of their favorite characters, of the cards that look awesome, are considerably more expensive than cards of the same rarity that look like doo-doo. Like, it's expected, but I'm actually really surprised at this much of a price difference, considering this is like the first Shen to sell. All right. Okay, now we're just going to kind of hop around. I didn't put everything in order of prices, but as we're going to kind of take a look, even from last week to this week, we're seeing large cuts in prices, especially on auctions. Of course, if you really are trying to get some of these cards, I highly suggest you just try and snipe some auctions. We will, continue to look around. I also have a bunch of cards that were comparing sales. Even in the last week, there's still some cards that have absolutely crazy swings in sales, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on why you think that some cards are swinging so much. I will give my thoughts once we get to that card. It's like right around here, so it's pretty soon. But yeah, Teemo's down about $2,000 from its, like, I guess peak at like $6,500 last week. Okay, well, perfect. It's right here. Lee Sin. Okay, so we are looking at a bunch of Lee Sin cards. This copy actually looks really nice centering wise. If anything, it might be like slightly top heavy. If you're trying to like grade this and go for Black Label, like I am myself. So I thought this guy was a little bit top heavy, so I did not end up chasing him. But yeah, $4,500. and I went and I checked all the bidding history. Like, there's nothing suspicious. It's like, we're not seeing a bunch of zero feedback people just bidding these up. This guy only went for 4,500. We were seeing sales in the sixes last week to 2 weeks ago, but at the same time, we're also seeing sales all the way down to 4. And then also checking the bids, it's like, yeah, sure, maybe you can say this one feedback guy got a great deal, bidding $50 more than some of these other guys. But the last one is, we still saw a $5,800 sale. I know it's Probstein, so we can meme them all you want. Oh, shit. But this sale here was also a Probstein sale. So this one ended low. It's also Probstein. But, this one ended super high, and it's also Probstein. I went and looked through all the bidding history of these people. None of the feedback numbers are, lining up across different copies. So it looks like you have different people bidding on different copies. I think it's a little weird. I would expect that if there's one person trying to get this card, they would have, tried to get, say, this copy, which ended, this is August 13th, right outside of our little window, whereas this one ended August 18th, so it's just a couple of days difference. And then this one, go back one more, and this one ended August 21st at 4 or 5. So all of these went up at pretty similar times. They were all kind of available on the market when others were as well, because these are week-long auctions. So it's just kind of weird. I think some of this can be explained by people trying to chase black labels, and that was what I was hoping was going to be the explanation for this card. But this is probably one of the worst centered PSA 10s I've seen. I'm kind of actually surprised this didn't get a 9. I didn't go out and measure it, but this guy is really, really bad OC. A lot of times you can use the back centering to more quickly judge the front centering. It's usually the same front and back on most of these cards. Obviously this guy is within tolerance because he did get a 10. This guy looks like crap, so I don't know why somebody would bid almost $1,800 more than an auction from a couple days before. I think this might be some Probstein funnies, but yeah, if anybody else has any great ideas on why, I really can't pinpoint this card at all. But let's keep moving on. Just some more, Unleashed kind of still getting up there in pop numbers. These reports are finally getting back. People weren't really as people don't really want to grade these as much just because the multiple's not there. I still am working on a video on what we're going to talk about, how grading cards is the most important thing for determining the price of singles and slabs in this market, but that video is not done yet. I'm hoping I can get it out this week, but if not, it'll be slated for next week's video. But yeah, we're seeing more Unleashed cards just really kind of getting hit. I hate to say it, but if your art is good, your card is going to be really, really expensive. Even though this guy is 30 pop, and there's usually only one of these up for auction a week, there's just no demand on it. No demand on any of these signatures. Even this Vex. This Vex was selling higher at one point, getting close to I think 3 in the last couple of weeks, but it's just kind of stuck around 2 now. This set, I think this is an absolute steal. $1,000 for a set signature. I know the other set is better, but still, it's just really low. This Rengar is really starting to see moves, and this is kind of the whole theme I had when I just put all these things around in random places rather than price. What I wanted to talk about was, and this is going to sound stupid, but it's the same thing I said earlier. If the card has a great artwork, people are going to want to buy it. I think this is kind of funny. This guy has 100% gem rate so far, but dude, this card is probably one of the best in Unleashed. I still think this card's better than the Diana. I don't like the Diana. I think it looks kind of silly. And yeah, I said it last time. I have one of these at PSA. I think he's great. I should probably pick up some more raw copies and try and keep grading more of these. I'm super bullish on this Rengar. I think he looks great. I know I have the Kha'Zix coming up as well. That Kha'Zix looks decent, but for now we're gonna talk about the Ari. Ari keeps going down, 8.7. I finally put my copy up for auction, so we'll see how much it goes for. I'm really hoping it stays above 8. But yeah, that'll end this week. And then Ryan's Card House has one up as well that's around 7-ish right now. So that's going to be the next one that's ending. So we'll see where that one goes. Again, the better set, still around 2,000. Nothing crazy. This Yasuo is around 3,300. And what I also wanted to include was a couple BGS listings sold this week, and just wanted to compare them to their PSA counterparts because, well, there's really no premium for BGS on a lot of cards. When I was selling my BGS Lee Sin, back before the boom kind of happened, I was definitely having trouble getting a lot of interest in it. It was much easier to sell the PSAs. They just went a lot quicker. I had a lot more messages of people trying to get a deal, back when, these were not that expensive. And even when they would go up for auction, like there were a lot of BGS cards that sold even under, like BGS 10s that even sold under their PSA copies, back before the hype was crazy. But it still seems like a lot of people are just, not really that interested in BGS for their cards. Of course these guys grade well. Like we see something very similar in One Piece, of course, but I'm still just so surprised that BGS doesn't carry a premium, because I would rather have all these cards in BGS than PSA. Unless it's like a red card and the red matches really nicely, because I love these like gold labels with the signatures. I just think it looks so clean. Okay, Aphelios, $1,300. Cut is still at the same. Like this guy's pretty low, even though he has like a big population. $1,300 for a signature, and his raw is not far behind. All right, moving into some of our big hitters. Kaisa's definitely down a bit, but still carrying like a little bit higher than the Ari, $1,000. But then what was interesting and I wanted to add was this Kaisa. So this tag report, I didn't actually go and look exactly at it, but my explanation for this on why this Kaisa sold so much is because this person wants to go over and try and get a black label. That is most likely why they're willing to spend like $3,000 more, and we can look and see, was this a giant bidding war? It actually wasn't. There's just so much extra interest in this card, and it looks like this guy, that is so unfortunate for the randomizing of the letters for this individual, but this guy was like dead set on getting this card, and so yeah, went for that. And really, it's kind of the same thing that we were saying last week. I didn't include as many of the metal cards, don't like them, but yeah, you're looking at signatures basically being the same price as the metal cards for like, a third of the population, if not less. All right, Misfortune still selling around 7K. Victor, $1,000. A lot more people are listing these cards on auction with absolutely abysmal photos. Yeah, if you want your card to sell for top dollar, like please put more photos. I'm imagining this person like messaged people individually and gave them more photos. But still, a lot of people are just lazy, and they won't do that. If you want your card to sell for as much as possible, make sure you always take pictures of those front corners, those back corners, and give people the lighting on, looking for scratches and stuff. That's just generally going to be the best way to entice people to buy your card, especially if your card is like actually clean and you're not trying to grade the card. All right, we got Ivern, still $1,400. All these unleashed cards really are just in the same range. They're just kind of like stagnant. All right, Kha'Zix. This Kha'Zix art, funny enough, also has 100% gem rate. I think the unleashed quality seems to be like almost like nearly perfect, which is kind of interesting. I don't think there's anything to really like glean about that, but yeah, Kha'Zix art I think it's kind of basic. Again, still Rengar my favorite from this set. Poppy, kind of mid, kind of boring, but wow, this is not intentional, but also perfect 100% gem rate. Leona definitely coming down in price. I think she was selling for over 3,600. Now she's down to like 25. Jinx still in that 7,000 range. She's pretty stable. I think a lot of people feel the same way as me that, why is Jinx like not the top chase of the set? I will say because this artwork isn't as good, even though Jinx may be a more popular champion with all the arcane love. But yeah, I think she's kind of in the right place right now. This card selling for about 1,500 last week. I added it again just because I saw it sold really, really low. It's just tough when you put these like niche cards up for auction. It's either you're going to have a bidding war or you're not, and the card's just going to end super, super low. I really try and stay away from the auctions unless it's like coming right from PSA, right from grading for me. Oh. All right, go back to Teemo. This is a zero feedback seller, but Teemo's selling for a bit less. Cool, bro included himself. Tough shit, bro. Hell yeah. All right, we got Worlds Teemo, or sorry, GG Easy Teemo. Take a look at the back. I like doing these like just looking at the cards, seeing if they're going to grade well. And of course, again, this is an auction, 2 pictures. If you want your card to sell well, then like please give more images. But like this guy looks pretty good, probably a 10, unless there's like scratches that are being hidden on the back, which again is a major problem with buying Riftbound cards online. A lot of people are very cagey about that. All right, we got Mel. Got Melaviv, again, kind of hard to see on the back, but we have a bunch of white spots on the back, 2 there, 1 on this edge, still going for over $1,000 here, white spot here. Yeah, this guy honestly still might 10, just because they're so generous with the edge quality on all these cards for giving out 10s. All right, again, we're going into this pristine, 3,300, 4,300. This one was actually a little bit more than its PSA counterpart. Same with the Aphelios, about like $300 more. you know, when you're at this price range, it kind of makes more sense for there to be a little bit of a premium. Like, people are just willing to spend just like that little extra amount of money. Teemo still coming down about $2,000, nothing crazy here. Soraka kind of the same as before. I'm very glad I sold my copy instead of grading it. Yeah, she's just, you know, not that strong. I think I sold, yeah, wow, that's crazy. I sold my copy for, I believe, $1,200 on eBay, so, you know, like $1,000 after fees, but I imagine the person who bought it had the intention of grading it, and that really kind of just nukes the grading play. Darius is also down again. It's just desirability. Like, I think this is good artwork, but it's just Darius. It's the same waifu premium, cool card premium. Spirit Forgione, $1,400, down again from last week. All right, I put this on here. I just saw it. Like, I want to include more black labels, but, you know, I don't really think anybody's looking for a Warwick black label. But yeah, it's cool cards. I like these arcane cards. I wish the art was just a little bit better on them, or I wish there's something more to them. They're just quite boring. This looks good with the black and gold label, like matching the darkness of the card, but yeah, you know, this is gonna be very niche, and I'm sure somebody is gonna collect this, but this might be hard to move in the future. Okay, we also have this black label vein, basically going for similar price to the signature. Signature is like 35 to 37. And yeah, let's keep moving. All right, so yeah, this is our Zed signature sale, $1,800 from somewhat sus seller, but yeah, this guy is really starting to move up. TCG is still trying to catch up on the Zed. I believe TCG is at $1,750 when I last checked earlier today. But yeah, Vendetta is still making tons and tons of moves. Jace hasn't moved yet, Mel hasn't moved yet, but it's definitely like Akali, Zed are the huge top chases. These are going to be basically like your Ari Kaisa for sure from Origins. I don't think Zed's going to, you know, be as hype as Ari or Kaisa. I think he'll be like a close, I think he'll be like an MF level of hype. So yeah, I mean, that basically falls in line with what we were guessing for the final PSA 10 price. All right, we got another Yasuo. So these guys are just falling. I did send my copy to PSA, so I really hope it gets a 10, or else I will be cooked, and I will really probably just almost break even, because I think I bought this for like $800, 800 plus fees and time waiting, and it's probably gonna come down more if it sells for like 12, and it's like I'm looking at like $100 in profit after this, which is, you know, basically nothing. Yeah, so this is also what is kind of happening with these cards. The cream of the crop is you have so many people, this is my theory, you have so many people looking for all these grading plays that all of these like best cards that keep selling, that are going to keep selling high in tens, like your Ari, your Kaisa, their raw price is still just going to be so high because so many people are willing to lock up their capital to get like a 50% return or a 100% return, depending, and they're willing to take that risk. And I think Zed and Akali are just going to be the same way, and that's why, you know, they're probably not going to come down, like, ever. The only way that any of these cards ever come down is if the PSA 10 price doesn't have an end buyer who's willing to spend, you know, 10, 12 grand on the card. And we're starting to see that with the Ari and Kaisa, but just as other card games go, again, this will be part of the next video, even when those PSA 10 prices fall, those raw prices really don't change that much. If the PSA 10 price, I'm going to use One Piece as the first anniversary set. Luffy, like him raw, Luffy from first anniversary set, selling $1,200 in a 10 all day, even when the 10 was, you know, like $7,000. You go CCG player, like that's how much it was selling for. Like it might have gotten up to like $1,400, $1,600, but it's still selling for 12, even though the PSA 10 price is cut in half. It's like what some people like to say, you short plastic, long cardboard. You're short the slabs because they're very volatile, but then in terms of raw cards, they generally hold their price pretty well. Okay, so yeah, LeBlanc again, still great card from Unleashed, but you know, only $2,000. Jin, this guy sold low, but he was very similar to other good copies. Like I was looking at this guy, but I purposefully did not bid on him because of this little white speck. So, you know, these people are paying basically a little bit over market for the Jin, just with some pictures. Like otherwise, like it looks fine, just has that little edge issue. But yeah, people are still buying these, even if like they're, you know, kind of, you know, 50-50 on grading PSA 10s. Oh, this guy's so cool. I love this so much. This is the full set of sealed trial decks. Again, I'm trying to collect all of them. I have 2 of them from the ones I got at TwitchCon. I still need to get the other ones, and so this was sold for about $1,700 US, and then there's also a UK sale around $2,000. as well. So, basically selling in that range. I'm really hoping somebody lists some loose decks just so I can finish my set. But yeah, still no dice. Okay, I was looking at buying this card just for the grading play itself, but it ended up selling way too high for me to be comfortable. So yeah, it sold it for full ask, 2.7. This guy did look pretty good. I had asked the seller for some additional pictures. And yeah, this card looked great. Probably going to grade a 10, but this 10 is only selling for like 45, so that's just, really low ROI for grading. And then lastly, here's our Jin, just to put it in there. So this copy, 28.50, coming down a little bit. All right, that's all the slabs for this video. We're at 20-minute mark, so that's about where I wanted to be. But now I wanted to talk more about Origins. All right, so we have been getting all the restocks coming through. I was definitely wrong in my last video. The restocks had hit when I made the video, and LGSs were moving product. So this is supposed to be a very large wave, and we have not seen the price go down. I think what a lot of people were expecting was for a lot more boxes to actually be listed on TCG Player. And while we saw 20 cases sell, the loose box price really hasn't moved. It's still at $300, and the case price has actually started to rebound. We're starting to see sales back at the $1,850 mark, and even on eBay, we're seeing the same thing with people spending like $1,800 to $1,900 to $2,000 on these cases. And I think this is a really, really great sign for Origins. That this is very likely, according to all the chuds who have distribution and who actually, get information before the rest of us randos. Yeah, this is probably the last print wave of Origins. There's going to be people that are going to hold on to boxes, like myself. But if any of the other card games are, similar to Riftbound, which I very strongly believe they are, most people are ripping these boxes. Again, EV on this product is still insanely strong at $300 a box. Like, you are not losing a lot of money. Ripping Origins is not expensive because of that. You can always sell your cards back. Like, I think this set is just super poised. I'm super happy with my position. If I could pick up one more first print case, I'd be super happy to do that. I didn't put a first print case on here. I forgot to do that now that I'm thinking about it, but they've really come down to like $3,500, and they're not as expensive as they used to be. So that's kind of nice, but still being double the price just for some additional numbers on it and no errata cards is kind of silly. But yeah, I'm sure there's someone who wants it. There's collectors who want it. Spirit Forged, kind of doing the same thing. We also got restocks. You see a teeny tiny dip for case price, and then it just goes back up. There's not that much premium on Spirit Forged as well. I don't know if we're going to have another restock of it, but I'm not really that interested in picking up Spirit Forged cases. Unleashed is, still just doing the same stuff. It's around $950 a box, or $950 for a case. Nothing really that crazy. Lowest listeds are above 1,000. But lastly, the last thing we want to go over is Vendetta. Right now, Vendetta has a lot of listings on eBay that are in the $900 to $1,000 range, but the lowest listed and last sales on TCG Player are basically at $1,200. So I think a lot of people are starting to see the sales of Akali and the auctions of Akali and a 10, and everybody wants to chase this shit. This box is still really cheap. It's like $150 loose, which comes to I think it's right around $900. On the dot, but you're seeing a $300 case premium for absolutely no reason. This might just be some idiots buying things up on TCG Player, because you can definitely get them cheaper on eBay. Yeah, it's just making me wish that I bought even more for my Vendetta position. But yeah, summary of this video: the artworks that actually look pretty, those are the ones that people want. What a surprise. Hate metal cards. Metal cards suck. And yeah, long Vendetta. Vendetta is going to be great. Just putting all your money into it right now is still somewhat of a risky play, because we don't know when they're going to reprint it, how they're going to reprint it, and prices are probably going to come down when they reprint it, just as we get out of this super hype cycle, because this is going to be in print for a long time. What if we draw any parallels between any other game, we see, I'll do it from your perspective, we see, or yeah, your perspective's over here, we see this absolute massive hype, and then it's going to peter off. We're going to plateau. Everyone's going to forget about it. We're going to probably finish Pokemon 30th Celebration. We're going to finish OP17. We're going to finish OP18. And everyone's going to be like, oh, where do I put my money now? We can't put it in Pal World. We can't put it in Gundam. What's coming out next? Oh, they just reprinted Vendetta? Oh, the Akali's still selling for $4,000? Oh, I should go buy up these boxes because they went down. And then it just, it's the same step for everything. It's everybody everybody FOMOs in, clears out all the supply, and then yeah, everybody lists and lists higher until finally it slides down, and then we get another hype cycle. Again, we'll definitely talk about that in that next video whenever that comes out, because I want to make that one a good one. I don't want it to just be like me talking at the camera after like 20 minutes of putting eBay links together. That's not like great. But yeah, that's it for today. And then yeah, if you guys tell me what you guys are chasing. Is there anything that you're looking for? Are you guys just ripping boxes, or yeah, are you just looking for grading plays? Like, what is your game plan for the Riftbound investment? Yeah, and then ignore the hat. I just put it on. Don't worry, I'm not like a weird crypto person. But yeah, peace.